Welcome back to the A-List with Alexandra, where we break down all things Hollywood. With me today is the cast of Casanoir. Hi, guys.
Yeah,
Hi there, Alexandra. Glad to be back here again.
So glad to have you. Now, Trillo and Suede, I want you to describe your detective agency for me in 3 words.
very tough for me. Suede's good at this. He's more articulate than I am usually. Suede, 3 words to describe our detective agency.
The very best.
Okay, I can't argue with that.
Can't argue with that. 2 words, but I'll take it. And now it is the dead of winter in Brooklyn. What have the cases been like for you?
Well, they've been very intense because a lot of people are very kind of keyed up and tense and stressed out from all the COVID stuff, the lockdowns, the pandemic, never ending, it seems, even though we're kind of crawling out of it now. A lot of people are strung out. They got all kinds of issues that we got to deal with. So we got to deal with their emotional states as well as the actual cases.
That makes sense. Can you remember your most memorable case? Do you have one in mind that you're working on right now or that stuck with you all these years?
Every one of our cases seems to be very particular. There ain't something special. So what sticks out in mind, I don't know about you, Trillo, but I think of the Hong Kong Canary because that's where we met Chloe Cliché.
A femme fatale who you can see in some of the cases that we've put into our web series for everybody to enjoy.
You know, all our investigations, the adventures that we've been on, we put into that season 1. That's where Chloe Cliché figures.
She came into our lives
when she came into our office, and the rest is history.
So we had to find the very elusive Hong Kong Canary, which was stolen from her.
And you guys can check it out in season 1.
That's our very first episode, but that's kind of a momentous time in our career.
And a momentous case. Now, since all of you hang out at the Last Exit nightclub, I've been hearing rumbles of letters of transit. Can anyone chime in and tell me, is there any truth to that?
You know, we're straight out of the Last Exit nightclub over here. That's where all the action is. Especially, you guys can check out Casanoir. That's where we videoed the actual life occurrences that we were going through, the struggles to try to escape from New York City in the midst of the crisis. Sounds a little familiar, huh?
So yeah, that's the life of Casanoir, the life of lots of people who kind of congregate and meet. Their lives intersect in Brooklyn, New York at the Last Exit nightclub. So letters of transit, they're very elusive, the way to escape from the dire circumstances here.
You gotta watch Casanoir to find out how that's all gonna play out. But anybody want to chime in and what your experience is along those lines? We got Mrs. Poopik here.
Yeah, Mrs. Yenta Poopik, the wife of the famous Rabbi.
Rabbi Poopik is my husband. And did we need letters of transit? Because my husband, things that he has done that we needed to get lots of letters of transit. Did I tell you about his Knish store?
Tell us.
What I could tell. Well, before we go into the Knish store, my husband, don't let him hear this. He's not around, right? No.
No, it's between us.
He has a wandering eye. Yeah, right? You've seen it. But usually, when he's getting a little tipsy. But don't tell that to his congregation. They would not understand. But I love him just the way that he is. I couldn't live without him, even though there were a few cases of salmonella from his Knish store.
Yeah, you know, Mrs. Poopik, that has a reputation, his Knish store, of being hygiene challenged. You guys get a very bad rap about that because I think a very small number of people have actually been poisoned to death by that Knish store. It's not a lot of people.
No, I think only 2, and who knows what really did them in.
Helen, hello. How are you?
Wonderful.
I need the latest on you and brains. Spill the tea.
Oh, well, my brains, my lips are sealed. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you, and wouldn't that be a little bit inconvenient?
A little bit, just a slightly inconvenient. And also there were rumblings in the past of a love triangle between you, Trillo, and Suede. Where does that lie now? Where does your heart stand?
Oh, well, it's so difficult nowadays because, there's Trillo, and then there's Suede, and then there's, I've always had a thing for rectangles and triangles anyway. So, more options are always better than no options, I say. But you'll have to watch it to find out more.
Always full of mystery. Always. Is there anything that's going on for you at the last Exit nightclub? Any secrets you can give away or what you can tease?
Well, there seems to be a very dark market for gefilte fish. That's all I can say. And letters of transit. And there seems to be a lot of aggressive trees in the last Exit nightclub. That seems to be another issue that's brewing. But, other than that, everything is quaint, I suppose.
Oh, not bad. And I want to hear from Captain Stress. Where did you get that name from? I have to assume you've been under a lot of stress in your life.
It's more like a cause stress to other people, It's not that I'm stressed, although, this friggin' dummy kills me at the end, so that's pretty stressful, I guess. But all I can tell you is I don't know about this Exit nightclub. You're gonna have to talk to this guy Goose, who used to work there, and he's a friend of mine. I can get him later if you want. But I just gotta stop her from getting on the plane, and these two dummies, okay, I don't know which one is which, shoot me. And I fucking die, So that's the end of that.
And so I would say, are you a little bit resentful towards Trillo and Suede at the moment? Would you say they're not your favorite people?
You're like a dummy shooting me? You're damn right it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's putting it mildly, huh? But I gotta say, Captain Stress, I'm very impressed, pleasantly surprised at how good you look after you got killed.
Yeah, thanks. I die a lot, and so I'm getting used to it. Most of my feature roles are somebody who's negative, intimidating, maybe a little stupid, and I end up dead. Yeah, that's the way it goes. I'm getting good at it.
You are witnessing the ultimate resurrection right here, the resurrection of Captain Stress.
Well, Suede, how do you feel that your partner is a murderer, but not really a murderer because he's now resurrected? So are you giving him a little bit slack in that category?
Well, we're in this together because we had a mission and, nobody can get in our way. And unfortunately for Captain Stress, he got very much in our way. And also Helen will back us up about that, I'm sure. I mean, Helen, how do you feel when Trillo pulled that trigger and Stress went down?
What trigger? Suede?
Yeah, she's making like she doesn't know. She's a smart cookie, She knows how to keep herself out of this stuff.
I know how to act, I've taken a couple of lessons, but I will say that apart from Stress getting in away, a very large plane wing got in my way too, and that was rather inconvenient, I have to say. But all's well that ends well. That's Shakespeare.
Yeah, I thought it was the Little Rascals who said that.
And Captain, what was it like for you to watch Helen get on the plane after all of that? I mean, she escaped. What was that like for you? But I did see you had a good team of puppets around you, doctors possibly to help resurrect you. But what was that like watching them escape?
Well, it was like I was dead, so I wasn't watching him escape. But I felt a spiritual kind of like puppet circle. I don't know, like kind of a circle jerk. And by the way, I know you're talking about triggers, wooden guys, wood. I know there's like sexual overtones. So that's stupid.
Then that's one way to look at it. Well, what's one way to look at it? You're smart. You're always thinking, Captain Stress. Okay, Trillo and Suede, where can people find you? There's so many people out there who need help, who need detectives now. Where can they find you?
If they want the absolute very best, well, that's us. I mean, you want a case that's got to be solved very urgently, something very crucial and important. Well, don't settle for second best. You got to find Trillo and Suede. And the thing is, it's only word of the mouth. We do not advertise. Because if someone wants to hire us, they got to show us that they really, really appreciate what we do. They got to put a little effort into it. So you got to ask around.
Go to Brooklyn, New York. Look for the Last Exit nightclub.
That's also unlisted. So you got to ask around in Brooklyn until somebody can direct you to the secret, the very, very special Last Exit nightclub. When you get there, you ask around. This is Levinsky, the owner and manager of the club, and this is Poopik over there. Yenta Poopik, she hangs out there a lot. You can ask her. Helen might even have a surprise visit. You never know whether she's back from Toronto or not. She happens to be there, and even Captain Stress might be going there to cause stress to everybody. So whoever you can find, just ask them, where's that secret location? And if you're determined enough, you'll find us.
For the elite. Okay, well, guys, you are my favorite detective duo. I know you are so busy on so many cases, so thank you so much for speaking with me today, and I'll let you guys get back to it.
Yeah, I got a hot date with Cully Cliche.
Well, why should today be different from any other day? Well, okay, thank you.
Let's talk Casanoir. Chris, I want you to describe the film for me in 3 words, or if you need more, you can go ahead, but describe this film for me.
Yeah, innovative, great, stupendous. I don't know, free association.
I love it. That word. And Jonathan, where did the idea for this film come from? Give a little backstory.
It's a film noir. The whole concept is a film noir alternate universe that I'm sort of recreating and parodying it, parodying the whole genre. And Casanoir is a parody specifically or mainly of Casablanca, the famous, iconic 1942 movie. And I love that movie. It's one of the all-time great movies, and I love the genre. So that's something that I had an idea right from early on when I created the Trillo Suede characters, was to do a parody eventually of Casablanca in particular. So I shortened it into this short movie that is today, and here it is, Casanoir.
Well, the movie is iconic and the characters are iconic. What do you guys do to prepare for your characters? Do you pull from any experiences in your own life?
Well, one of the things that they wanted me to do originally was a German accent. I'm not really good at German accents, but I was on with this Donnie Dick's short film video with Eli Cusack, John and Jones brother, and we're sitting in a van and it's 32 degrees and it's raining out and we're dressed like almost with nothing on, and so we're freezing there. And one of my colleagues had a German accent, and so she worked on it with me. So I did the rehearsal. So it was, yes, she's getting on the plane. Somebody strop her. Now, I'm not saying that's good, but they said, no, I don't like it. I want you to go with the more Brooklyn thing. So that's what I changed it into. So that's one of the ways I prepared. I prepared for one thing, and then it switched over, which was fine, and I actually like it better. So that probably was one of the biggest things, because I'm not an expert at accents.
Yeah, I thought the German accent you did was very good, because it was sort of like over the top, which also would have worked. But I also felt I agreed that when I heard you try the Brooklyn, New York accent, that's going to work better for our purposes.
I love it. Anyone else?
Well, for Mrs. Poopik, I sort of look back on some of my relatives that I grew up with. And sort of channeled them. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't with me anymore, but I did channel them quite a bit, and it was actually a good experience to be able to do that.
Katharina and Chris, what drew you to the script? When you initially read the script, what was it that you were like, oh, I love this, I want this part?
So I had worked on Trillo and Suede. Like some of the people on Casanoir had worked with Jonathan on his Trillo and Suede web series, and I had played a couple of different femme fatales, or one femme fatales with multiple personalities,
right?
And different accents and all that. And I did that for 2 seasons. And then Jonathan said, I want to try doing Casanoir because it was very close to his heart, the film Casablanca, and he wanted to create sort of a parody off of it. And that's sort of how I got involved with that project. And I was like, yeah, I know that Ingrid Bergman is Swedish German, and I'm German too, so it kind of sort of fit. And I was like, oh, this is an interesting challenge of playing a period femme fatale that has like a transatlantic but a little bit of a German in it. So I was like, okay, this is just one more personality of the character I played on Trillo Suede. Just add that on to like that other personality. So that's kind of how I just kind of rolled from one project to another.
Chris?
Yeah, so my original reaction to your question was absolutely nothing attracted me to the role through the script. I didn't even read it. Jonathan called or emailed and said, I think you would be, great for this part. And I said yes. And then I read the script because, I did the Trillo Suede 2 seasons with him. And, he inspires a tremendous amount of loyalty and trust. And if his artistic judgment feels that I'm right for the part, I trust that over mine.
I love that. Wow, that's real movie magic. That's
Yeah.
great. Everyone has so many amazing things happening for them individually. Wendy, let's hear it. What do you have in the works? There's something I hear with a big blue beehive. So I have to.
Yes, I play a character that is called OG. It's the original gangster. I almost got a Yiddish accent. I'm Brooklyn this time. It's called Frank and Edna Take on Lamons. Now, this is actually we're doing this for the American Cancer Foundation. And we did a short film and to raise $300,000 for the Cancer Foundation. And we were to be in Tribeca Film Festival and Sundance. And they realized they did a private viewing and realized that we needed more. And they needed more comedy because it got too solemn. So now instead of being a short film, it is going out as a feature film. And they're just tagging on a new ending, but it will be in Tribeca. It should be in Sundance, but it hasn't been sent there yet for this new version. But I'm excited. And from there, who knows, because we're going to be doing things probably all over in order to raise money. And sort of the gist of it is my daughter's husband was diagnosed with cancer. And the thing that he always wanted to do was to be a driver in Le Mans. So I also get to be a driver in Le Mans. It's hysterical. Our suits are wonderful. They're Steve McQueen in the Le Mans movie. These are replicas of what he wore in the Le Mans movie. And I know probably you may be too young to remember who Steve McQueen is. Jonathan,
No, I know.
But it's wonderful. The film is phenomenal. And I can hardly wait till it comes out. And then another project that we did this summer, it is a new sitcom. It's called Narcissists of NYC.
Yes,
it was supposed to start showing in December of this past year, last month. Amazon Prime is putting it off. They're now discussing what month it's going to be released. It's going to be released this year. It's just a matter, is it going to be February or March or April, because their whole seasons, there really not any seasons anymore.
Yeah, I've been looking out for it since you told me last time we spoke.
Right.
I was a narcissist of New York City when I get on Amazon Prime. I'm always reminded.
I know, it's like we just completely, it's supposed to be December. And Amazon Prime said, they're reworking what's going out when. So they're discussing it now as to when it is going to start being released.
Well, we'll have to get you back on here when everything gets released, the feature film, the show, we'll have to talk all of those things soon. What is next for Casanoir and Trillo and Suede, Jonathan?
Well, Casanoir went through the film festival circuit for the past 8 or 9 months and won a lot of awards for best comedy, best short, best parody, and all kinds of things. I decided it's time to just put it on the internet. I was eager for everyone to see it now without restriction. I'm hoping to get a big success, a lot of notoriety for this, as many people as possible see it, and to use it as a demo for a feature film, which I've been trying to get produced for quite a while. I've written a few of them, Trillo Suede feature films, but one in particular called While the Village Sleeps. I actually self-published it as an ebook, as a novel, a few years ago. So people can find that on Kindle and read that, the novelized version of it. But the actual screenplay is there, ready to produce. So that's what I'm trying to do. I've begun now trying to promote Casanoir as much as possible. It's free for everybody to see, so I want everybody to see it as much as possible and try to use it as making connections, a way of making connections in the film industry to get the funding for the actual movie to be produced. And I'd love to have all my fellow cast members back in there and in the feature film if possible. You know, I have to see how the roles play out and how everything plays out, but I'd love to work with everybody again.
I love it. And where can everyone find each and every one of you? For the audience out there, if they want to see your work or just keep up with what you're doing, let's hear where they can find you guys.
Well, I'm Torem of the Future on Instagram, and that's my Dungeons and Dragons name from college, where I would skip my exams and kill frost giants. But anyways, Facebook, I have an account. I SAG member. I just got my SAG card this last year, and IMDb, lists a lot of my work that are qualified for the IMDb. So that's 3. I also have a website, christorem.com, which is in desperate need of updating. So.
Amazing. That's the best Instagram handle. I love that. I love the story behind that. Okay.
I'm terrible at social media, but I do sometimes post. I think my last post was like 2 years ago, but I do sometimes share stories. So if you want to look at my Instagram, it's at Caterpillars, which is spelled Katerpilars, because everything else was taken, so I had to get creative. And you can find what I'm up to there. I also have a Facebook, but I think it's like you can't search it because I set it to that like ages ago, and I haven't figured out how to stop that. But I think that's CatMel04 if you do find me, and I post on there too. So those are the 2 places to find me. And there's no like cute story. It's just like everything else is taken. So that's all from my brain.
That's creative. Jonathan?
Well, the main place these days, the place to be, is the Trillo Suede YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Trillo Suede. So pretty easy to remember, youtube.com/Trillo Suede. And, or you can put in my name, Jonathan Geffner, ventriloquist, it'll pop up that way. Everyone should, first of all, check out and enjoy Casanoir, the newly released movie that we've been talking about. And then I've got hundreds of videos. I've got almost 1,000 videos up there. Most of them, I do a lot of shorts, both on TikTok and on YouTube. So you can see a lot of those. I usually post 3 every day of these very short videos. So they keep accumulating there, loads of stuff to watch. And of course, the web series is there on the YouTube channel, the Trillo Suede web series, 20 episodes. So a lot of stuff to enjoy there. Also TikTok, my handle is at Jonathan Geffner. So I'll use my real name there. So at Jonathan Geffner, you find me on TikTok there. At Ventrillo is my Instagram handle. So you can find me there. I haven't been as active on Instagram, but I'm trying to be more active these days, trying to get everything going. So where else? Facebook, join the Trillo Suede Facebook group. If you guys haven't done that, anyone can join if you have a Facebook account. So that's just look for Trillo and Suede under groups in Facebook. And that's a great place to visit and hang out if you want to actually communicate with me and other people involved, other cast members check in, and people actually want to chat. That's the best way, because you can post there, post questions or comments, and I'll be sure to see them eventually get back to everybody. Unlike, you know, it's a little harder on YouTube or TikTok to actually have chats, but you know, that's the place to be to actually communicate with me and my associates.
Amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for speaking with me today. It was a pleasure.